HighBridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents A Horse Walks into a Bar by David Grossman, translated by Jessica Cohen, read by Joe Barrett.
Good evening, good evening, good evening to the majestic city of Caesarea!
The stage is empty. The thundering shout echoes from the wings. The audience slowly quiets down and grins expectantly. A short, slight, bespectacled man lurches onto the stage from a side door as if he'd been kicked through it. He takes a few faltering steps, trips, breaks himself on the wood floor with both hands, then sharply juts his rear end straight up. Scattered laughter and applause from the audience. People are still filing into the club, chatting loudly. "Ladies and gentlemen," announces a tight-lipped man standing at the lighting console, "put your hands together for Dov Greenstein." The man on stage still crouches like a monkey, his big glasses askew on his nose. He slowly turns to face the room and scans it with a long, unblinking look. "Oh, wait a minute," he grumbles. "This isn't Caesarea, is it?" Sounds of laughter. He slowly straightens up and dusts his hands off. "Looks like my agent fucked me again." A few audience members call out, and he stares at them in horror. "Say what? Come again? You, table 7. Yeah, with the new lips. They look great, by the way." The woman giggles and covers her mouth with one hand. The performer stands at the edge of the stage, swaying back and forth slightly. "Get serious now, honey. Did you really say Natanya?" His eyes widen, almost filling the lenses of his glasses. "Let me get this straight. Are you going to sit there and declare, so help you God, that I am actually for real in Natanya at this very minute, and I'm not even wearing a flak jacket?" He crosses his hands over his crotch in terror. The crowd roars with joy. A few people whistle. Some more couples amble in, followed by a rowdy group of young men who look like soldiers on furlough. The small club fills up. Acquaintances wave to one another. 3 waitresses in short shorts and neon purple tank tops emerge from the kitchen and scatter among the tables. "Listen, lips," he smiles at the woman at table 7. "We're not done yet. Let's talk about it. I mean, you look like a pretty serious young lady, I gotta say, and you certainly have an original fashion sense, if I'm correctly reading the fascinating hairdo that must have been done by, let me guess, the designer who gave us the Temple Mount Mosque and the nuclear reactor in Dimona?" Laughter in the audience. "And if I'm not mistaken, I detect the faint whiff of a shitload of money emanating from your direction. Am I right or am I right? Huh? Oh, to 1%? No? Not at all? I'm asking because I also note a magnificent dose of Botox, not to mention an out-of-control breast reduction. If you ask me, that surgeon should have his hands cut off." The woman crosses her arms over her body, hides her face, and lets out shrieks of delight through her fingers. As he talks, the man strides quickly from one side of the stage to the other, rubbing his hands together and scanning the crowd. He wears platform cowboy boots, and as he moves, the heels make a dry, tapping sound. "What I'm trying to understand, honey," he yells without looking at her, "is how an intelligent lady like yourself doesn't realize that this is the kind of thing you have to tell someone carefully, judiciously, considerately. You don't just slam someone with 'You're in Natanya,' bam! What's the matter with you? You gotta give a guy some warning, especially when he's so skinny." He lifts up his faded T-shirt, and a gasp passes through the room. "Ain't it so?" He turns his bare chest to the people sitting on either side of the stage and flashes a big grin. "See this? Skin and bones. Mostly cartilage. I swear to God, if I was a horse, I'd be glue by now. You know what I'm saying?" Embarrassed giggles and repulsed exhalations in response. "All I'm saying, sister," he turns back to the woman, "is next time when you give someone this kind of news, you need to do it carefully. Anesthetize him first. Numb him up, for God's sake. You gently numb his earlobe like this. "Congratulations, Dovila, oh handsomest of men, you've won! You've been chosen to take part in a special experiment on the coastal plain. Nothing too long, 90 minutes, at most 2 hours, which has been determined to be the maximum permissible time for non-hazardous exposure to this location for the average person." The audience laughs, and the man is surprised. "Why are you dumbasses laughing? That joke was about you." They laugh even harder. "Wait a minute, just so we're clear. Did they already tell you you're just the opening audience before we bring in the real one?" Whistles, snorts of laughter, a few boos from some parts of the room, a couple of fists thumping on tables, but most of the crowd is amused. A tall, slender couple comes in, both with soft golden locks falling over their foreheads. They're a young boy and girl, or maybe 2 boys, clad in shiny black, with motorcycle helmets under their arms. The man on stage glances at them, and a little wrinkle arches above his eye. He moves constantly. Every few minutes he launches a quick punch into the air, then dodges his invisible opponent, deceptive and swift like a skilled boxer. The audience loves it. He tenses his hand over his eyes and scans the darkened room. I'm the one he's looking for. "Between you and me, pals, I should be putting my hand to my heart now and assuring you that I'm crazy, crazy about Natanya, right?" "Right!" a few young audience members shout. "I should be explaining how I'm just so into being here with you on a Thursday evening in your charming industrial zone, and not just that, but in a basement, practically touching the magnificent radon deposits while I pull a string of jokes out of my ass for your listening pleasure. Correct?" "Correct!" the audience yells back. "Incorrect," the man asserts and rubs his hands together gleefully. "It's all a crock, except the ass bit, because I gotta be honest with you, I can't stand your city. I get creeped out by this Natanya dump. Every other person on the street looks like he's in the witness protection program, and every other person has the first person rolled up in a black plastic bag inside the trunk of his car. And believe me, if I didn't have to pay alimony to 3 lovely women and child support for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, count 'em, 5, I swear to God, standing before you tonight is the first man in history to get postpartum depression. 5 times. Actually 4, 'cause 2 of them were twins. Actually 5, if you count the bout of depression after my birth. But that whole mess ended up being a good thing for you, my darling Natanya, because if not for my milk-teeth little vampires, there is no way, none, I'd be here tonight for the measly 750 shekels Yoav pays me, with no expenses and no gratitude. So let's get going, my friends, my dearly beloveds. Let's party tonight. Raise the roof. Put your hands together for Queen Natanya!" The audience applauds, slightly befuddled by the reversal, but swept up nonetheless by the hearty roar and the sweet smile that lights up his face and completely transforms it. Gone is the tormented, mocking bitterness, replaced as if by a camera flash with the visage of a soft-spoken, refined intellectual, a man who couldn't possibly have anything to do with the utterances that just spewed out of his mouth. He clearly enjoys the confusion he sows. He turns around slowly on the axis of one foot like a compass, and when he completes the rotation, his face is twisted and bitter again. "I have an exciting announcement, Natanya. You won't believe your luck, but today, August 20th, happens to be my birthday. Thank you, you're too kind." He bows modestly. "Yes, that's right. 57 years ago today, the world became a slightly worse place to live in. Thank you, sweethearts." He prances across the stage and cools his face with an imaginary fan. "That's nice of you, really. You shouldn't have. It's too much. Drop the checks in the box on your way out. Cash you can stick to my chest after the show, and if you brought sex coupons, you can come up right now." Some people raise their glasses to him. A few couples enter noisily. The men clap as they walk, and sit down at a group of tables near the bar. They wave hello at him, and the women call out his name. He squints and waves back in a vague, nearsighted way. Over and over again he turns to look at my table in the back of the room. From the minute he got on stage, he's been seeking my eyes. I can't look straight at him. I dislike the air in here. I dislike the air he breathes. "Any of you over 57? A few hands go up. He surveys them and nods in awe. "I'm impressed, Natanya. That's some bitchin' lifespan you got yourselves here. I mean, it's no easy feat to reach that age in a place like this, is it? Yoav, put the spotlight on the crowd so we can see. Lady, I said 57, not 75. Wait up, guys, one at a time. There's enough Dovela to go around. Yes, table 4, what did you say? You're turning 57 too? 58? Amazing. Deep. Ahead of your time. And when is that happening, did you say? Tomorrow? Happy birthday. What's your name, sir? What's that? Come again? Yorai? Are you kidding me? Shit, man, your parents really shafted you, huh? The man named Yorai laughs heartily. His plump wife leans on him, caressing his bald head. The lady next to you, dude, the one marking her territory on you, is that Mrs. Yorai? Be strong, my brother. I mean, you were probably hoping Yorai was the last blow, right? You were only 3 when you realized what your parents had done to you. He walks slowly along the stage, playing an invisible violin. Sitting all alone in the corner of the nursery, munching on the raw onion Mom put in your lunchbox, watching the other kids play together, and you told yourself, "Buck up, Yorai, lightning doesn't strike twice." Surprise! It did strike twice. Good evening to you, Mrs. Yorai. Tell me, honey, might you be interested in letting us in, just between friends, on what mischievous surprise you're preparing for your husband's special day? I mean, I look at you and I know exactly what's going through your mind right now. Because it's your birthday, Yorai, darling, I'll say yes tonight, but don't you dare do to me what you tried on July 10th, 1986. The audience falls about, including the lady, who is convulsed, her face contorted with laughter. Now tell me, Mrs. Yorai, he lowers his voice to a whisper, just between you and me, do you really think your necklaces and chains can hide all those chins? No, seriously, does it seem fair to you, in these days of national austerity, when plenty of young couples in Israel have to make do with one chin? He strokes his own receding chin, which at times gives him the appearance of a frightened rodent, and you're just coasting along happily with 2. No, wait, 3! Lady, the skin of that goiter alone is enough for a whole new row of tents down at occupied Tel Aviv. A few scattered laughs. The lady's grin is stretched thin over her teeth. And by the way, Natanya, since we're on the topic of my theory of economics, I would like to note at this point, and for the avoidance of doubt, that I am all for a comprehensive reform of the capital market. He stops, breathless, puts his hands on his hips, and snorts, I'm a genius, I'm telling you. Words come out of my mouth that even I don't understand. Listen up. I've been convinced for at least the past 10 minutes that taxation should be calculated solely according to the payer's weight. A flesh tax. Another glance in my direction. A lingering look, almost alarmed, trying to extricate from within me the gaunt boy he remembers. What could be more just than that, I ask you? It's the most reasonable thing in the world. He lifts his shirt up again, this time rolling it slowly, seductively, exposing us to a sunken belly with a horizontal scar, a narrow chest, and frighteningly prominent ribs, the taut skin shriveled and dotted with ulcers. It could go by chins, like we said, but as far as I'm concerned, we could have tax brackets. His shirt is still hiked up. Some people stare reluctantly, others turn away and let out soft whistles. He considers the responses with bare, ravenous fervor. I demand a progressive flesh tax. Assessments shall be based on spare tires, potbellies, asses, thighs, cellulite, man boobs, and that bit that dangles up here on women's arms. The good thing about my method is there's no finagling and no misinterpreting. You gain the weight, you pay the rate. He finally lets his shirt drop. But seriously, for the life of me, I cannot understand what's up with taking taxes from people who make money. Where's the logic in that? Listen, Natanya, and listen closely. Taxes should only be levied on people who the state has reasonable cause to believe are happy. People who smile to themselves, people who are young, healthy, optimistic, who whistle in the daytime, who get laid at night. Those are the only shitheads who should be paying taxes, and they should be stripped of everything they own. Most of the audience clap supportively, but a few, mostly the younger people, round their lips and boo. He wipes the sweat off his forehead and cheeks with a huge red circus clown handkerchief, and lets the 2 groups bicker among themselves for a while to everyone's delight. Meanwhile, he gets his breath back, shades his eyes, and looks for me again, insisting on my eyes. Here it is now, a shared flicker that no one but the two of us, I hope, can detect. You came, his look says. Look what time has done to us. Here I am before you. Show me no mercy. He quickly turns away and puts his hand up to quiet the audience. What? I couldn't hear you. Speak up, Table 9. Yes, but first I just want you to explain how you people do that, because I've never been able to figure it out. What do you mean, do what? That thing where you join your eyebrows together? No, honestly, tell us, do you sew one to the other? Do they teach you how to do it at your ethnic boot camp? He pauses for an instant, then barrels ahead. Talking about browbeating, my father was a hardline revisionist. He idolized Jabotinsky. Respect! A few vigorous, defiant rounds of applause come from some tables, and he waves his hand dismissively. Okay, Table 9, talk to me. Don't hold back, it's on me. What? No, I wasn't joking, Gargamel. It really is my birthday. Exactly at this minute, more or less, in the old Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem, my mother, Sarah Greenstein, went into labor. Unbelievable, isn't it? A woman who claimed to want only the best for me, and yet she gave birth to me. I mean, think about how many trials and prisons and investigations and crime series there are because of murder, but I've yet to hear a single case involving birth. Nothing about premeditated birth, negligent birth, accidental birth, not even incitement to birth. And don't forget, we're talking about a crime where the victim is a minor. He fans air into his wide-open mouth as though he's suffocating. Is there a judge in the house? A lawyer? I withdraw into my seat. Don't let his gaze take hold of me. Luckily for me, 3 young couples sitting nearby signal to him. Turns out they're law students from one of those new colleges. Get out! He screams in a terrible bellow and waves his arms and kicks his legs, and the audience showers them with whistles and boos. The angel of death, he laughs breathlessly, appears before a lawyer and says his time has come. The lawyer starts crying and wailing, but I'm only 40. Angel of death says, not according to your billable hours. A quick punch, a complete spin around. The students laugh even harder than the others. Now about my mother. His face turns grave. I ask for your attention, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. This is a matter of grave consequence. Rumor has it, and this is only hearsay, that when they handed me to her right after the birth, she was seen to smile, and perhaps even smile with joy. No way, I'm telling you. Nothing but slander. The audience laughs. The man suddenly drops to his knees at the edge of the stage and bows his head. Forgive me, Mom, for I have screwed up. I have betrayed. I have sold you down the river for a laugh again. I'm a whore for laughs. I can't quit it. He leaps to his feet, which seems to make him dizzy because he staggers. Now, seriously, no kidding around. She was the most beautiful mother in the world, I swear to God. They don't make 'em like that anymore. Huge blue eyes. He spreads the fingers of both hands wide, and I remember the bright, piercing blue of his own eyes as a boy. And she was the most unhinged thing in the world, and the saddest. He traces a tear under his eye, and his mouth rounds into a smile. That's how she came out. That's the straw we drew. I'm not complaining, and Dad was okay, too. Really, he was. He stops and scratches furiously at the tufts of hair on the sides of his head. Give me a second, I'll find something for you. Yes, he was a fantastic barber, and when he did my hair, he didn't even charge me, even though that was against his principles. He glances at me again to see if I'm laughing, but I don't even try to pretend. I order a beer and a vodka chaser. What was it he said? You need some numbing to get through this. Numbing? A general anesthetic is what I need. He resumes his frantic darting around, like he's prodding himself onward. A single spotlight illuminates him from above, and vibrant shadows accompany his body. His motion is reflected, with a strange delay, on the curves of a large copper urn positioned by the wall behind him, perhaps a remnant from some play that was once produced here. Talking about my birth, Netanya, let's dedicate a moment to that cosmic event. Because me, and I'm not talking about now, when I'm at the pinnacle of the entertainment business, a wildly popular sex symbol, He lingers, nodding with his mouth wide open, allowing them to finish up their laughter. "No, I mean back in the day me, at the dawn of my history, when I was a kid. Back then I was super screwed up. They put all the wires together in my head the wrong way. You cannot believe what a weirdo I was. No, really." He smiles. "Want some laughs, Natanya? Do you really want to laugh?" Then he scolds himself. "What a stupid-ass question. Hello? It's a stand-up show. Do you still not get that? Putz!" He gives his forehead a loud, unfathomably powerful smack. "That's what they're here for. They're here to laugh at you. Not so, my friends?" It was an awful blow, that slap. An outburst of unexpected violence. A leakage of murky information that belonged somewhere completely different. The room is silent. Someone crushes a hard candy between his teeth, and the sound reverberates through the club. Why did he insist that I come? What does he need a hired gun for, I wonder, when he's doing such an excellent job himself? "I got a story for you," he calls out as if that slap never happened, as if there were no white splotch on his forehead turning red, as if his glasses were not bent. "Once, when I was maybe 12, I decided I was going to find out what happened 9 months before I was born that turned my dad on so much that he jumped my mom like that. And just so you understand, other than me, there was no evidence of any volcanic activity in his pants. Not that he didn't love her. Let me tell you, all that man did in his life, from the second he opened his eyes in the morning till he went to bed, all his futzing around with the warehouses and the mopeds and the spare parts and the rags and the zippers and the thingamajigs. Just pretend you know what I'm talking about, okay? Nice city, Natanya, nice city. All that crap for him, more than making a living, more than anything, was to impress her. He just wanted to make her smile at him and stroke his head. Good doggy, good doggy. Some men write poetry to their beloveds, right? Right, a few people answer, still startled. And some guys serenade them, right? Right, a few more feeble voices chime in. And some guys, I don't know, they buy them diamonds or a penthouse, an SUV, designer animas, right? Right? Several voices shout, eager to please now. And then there are the ones like Daddy-O, who buy 200 pairs of fake jeans from an old Romanian woman on Allenby Street and sell them from the back room of the barber shop as original Levi's, and all for what? So he can show her in his little notebook that night how many pennies he made off. He stops. His eyes wander around the room, and for a moment, inexplicably, the audience holds its breath, as if having seen something along with him. But really touch her? The way a man touches a woman, even a little pat on the ass in the hallway, just a schmear? That I never saw him do. So you tell me, friends, after all, you're smart people, you chose to live in Natanya. Explain to me, then, why he never touched her. Eh? God only fucking knows. Wait, what? He perches on his tiptoes and flutters his eyelids at the audience with an emotional, grateful look. You really want to hear about this? You're really in the mood for a bunch of shaggy dog stories about my royal family? Here the audience is divided. Some cheer encouragingly. Others yell at him to start telling jokes already. The two pale bikers in black leather drum their hands on the table and make their beer glasses jump around. It's hard to know which side they're on. Perhaps they just enjoy fanning the flames. I still can't tell if they're two boys, or a boy and a girl, or two girls. Not true. Really? You're really and truly up for Days of Our Lives, the Greenstein saga? No, let me get this straight, Natanya. Is this some kind of attempt to crack the riddle of my magnetic personality? He flashes me an amused, teasing look. You really think you can succeed where every researcher and biographer is crapped out? Virtually the whole audience applauds. Then you really are my friends. We're BFFs, Natanya. Sister cities. He melts and opens his eyes wide in a look of boundless innocence. The crowd rolls around laughing. People grin at one another. A few stray smiles even make their way to me. He stands downstage, the sharp points of his boots protruding over the edge, and counts the hypotheses on his fingers. Number 1, maybe he worshipped her so much, my dad, that he was afraid to touch her. Number 2, maybe she was grossed out by him walking around the house with a black hairnet on after he washed his hair. Number 3, maybe it was because of her Holocaust and the fact that he wasn't in it, not even as an extra. I mean, the guy not only did not get murdered, he wasn't even injured in the Holocaust. Number 4, maybe you and I are not quite ready for our parents to meet yet. Laughter in the audience, and he, the comic, the clown, darts around the stage again. The knees of his jeans are ripped, but he boasts a pair of red suspenders with gold clips, and his cowboy boots are adorned with silver sheriff stars. Now I notice a sparse little braid dangling on the back of his neck. Long story short, just to finish this up so we can get the show on the road, yours truly opened up a calendar, flipped back exactly 9 months from his birth, found the date, and quickly ran off to the pile of revisionist newsletters my dad collected. Took up half a room in our house, that revisionism. The other half was for the rags and the jeans and the hula hoops and the ultraviolet cockroach killers. Just pretend you understand, a few voices from the bar jubilantly complete his flourish. Nice city, Natanya. Even when he laughs, his look is calculating and joyless, seeming to monitor the conveyor belt on which the jokes emerge from his mouth. And the 3 of us, I mean the biological matter of our family, we squeezed into the room and a half that was left. And by the way, he wouldn't let us throw out a single page of that party newsletter. Mark my words, this will become the Bible of future generations, he used to say, wagging his finger, and his little mustache would perk up like someone had electrified his balls. And there, on exactly that date, 9 months before I hatched and forever upended the ecological balance, what do you think yours truly came across? The Sinai Campaign on the nose. Do you see where I'm going with this? Isn't it some crazy shit, you guys? Abdul Nasser announces he's nationalizing the Suez, the canal is slam shut in our face, and my dad, Dov Greenstein of Jerusalem, 5'2", hairy as an ape, and with lips like a girl's, doesn't even take 1 second to consider before he goes off to open her up. So really, if you think about it, you could say that I'm a retaliatory operation. You know what I mean? I'm payback. You dig me? We had the Sinai Campaign, the Battle of Karama, Operation Entebbe, Operation whatever the fuck else, and then we had the Greenstein Campaign, which is still partially classified, so I cannot divulge all the details, but we happen to have here tonight a rare recording from the war room, though the audio is of mediocre quality. Spread your legs, Mrs. Greenstein. Take this, Egyptian tyrant. Bada-boom ching. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. My words were taken out of context. I have betrayed you yet again. He slaps himself in the face again, savagely, with both hands. Then once more. I've had a metallic, rusty taste in my mouth for a few seconds. People near me pull back in their chairs, eyelids fluttering. At the table next to me, a woman whispers something sharply to her husband and picks up her purse, but he puts his hand on her thigh to hold her back. Natanya, mon chéri, salt of the earth. By the way, is it true that if someone on the street around here asks you what time it is, chances are he's a narc? Just kidding. Joke! He shrinks his whole body down, crowding his eyebrows in, and his eyes dart around. There isn't someone from the Aparon family here by any chance, is there, so we can pay him our respects? Or the Abutbuls? Any of Dadez's guys? Beber Amar isn't here? One of Boris El-Kush's relatives? Maybe Tiran Shirazi is honoring us with his presence tonight? Ben Suchi? Ilyahu Rustashvili? Feeble claps gradually chime in, which seem to help people break out of the paralysis that gripped them a moment earlier. Now, don't get me wrong, Natanya. I'm just making sure, just doing reconnaissance. You see, whenever I have a gig somewhere, first thing I do is log on to Google Risk. He suddenly tires, as if emptied out all at once. He puts his hands on his hips and breathes quickly. He stares into space, his eyes congealed in his face like an old man's. He called me about 2 weeks ago, at 11:30 at night. I just come back from walking the dog. He introduced himself with a certain tense and celebratory anticipation in his voice, which I did not respond to. Confused, he asked if it was me and whether his name didn't sound familiar. I said it didn't. I waited. I loathe people who quiz me like that. The name rang a bell, but it was faint. He wasn't someone I'd met through work, of that I was certain. The aversion I felt was a different kind. This was someone from a more inner circle, I thought, with a greater potential for harm. "Ouch," he quipped. "I was sure you'd remember." He chuckled heavily, and his voice was slightly hoarse. For a moment I thought...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?